Thank you for joining us here at the Marcom Studios at Arkansas Tech University. My name is Ryan Taylor, and we're glad to have Nikki Swartz here with us today. And we're going to talk about an exciting topic. That's money. All right, so let's jump right into it. I've noticed several colleges around the area that are adopting this last dollar scholarship, and they claim free tuition for students from families that make under $100,000 a year. Will ATU be offering something similar?
While Arkansas Tech does understand the cost savings is so important to our students and their families, we're not going to offer a last dollar scholarship. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. But we do encourage our students to apply for admission, which is also our application for scholarships, and to see what we do have to offer. Compare those offers with the other schools, but not only to include tuition and fees, but also the other charges and the other costs that the students will have to pay, room and board or room and meals, books and supplies, other things. Yeah. So to really compare apples to apples and not apples to oranges.
Right, that's smart. Also, in that same vein, could you tell everyone watching what is a last dollar scholarship?
Okay, a last dollar scholarship is typically a scholarship to where the institution is going to pay the most negligible amount they can, the smallest amount they can, toward the last dollar, toward the tuition and fees only, or whatever they specify, if it's a tuition only scholarship or tuition and fees. They're going to let everything else go first. They're going to let everything else pay first. Pell Grant, Challenge Scholarship, everything else pay first and reduce that bill, reduce the tuition and fees until it's the smallest amount possible, and then they're going to contribute their funds so that that amount only is what the institution is contributing toward the student's education. And so there's so much still left to pay that the student may not realize, the students and their family may not realize that comes along with going to college.
Right.
But they're not being let know this up front, and so it's really hard for them to really get a good gauge of how much it's going to cost them to attend.
Yeah, well, and if I can be honest, I think we all understand that the full cost of attending college is way beyond just tuition and fees. So with that, what are the limitations to a last dollar scholarship?
So a lot of the limitations they're putting on these last dollar scholarships are very strict. Some of them even require you to absolutely take a loan, for example. You have to work, do community service, which can take away from study time, which can take away from time that you may have to get a job off campus or on campus to work toward those to make money toward those other expenses. You have to be Pell eligible. There's a very fine line to where you're eligible for these scholarships. Again, they're not eligible or everyone's not eligible for these scholarships. So it's really hard to determine, number one, am I going to be eligible for it? What am I going to have to do for it?
Right.
And number two, how much money am I actually going to get? But then at the end of the day, how much money am I going to have to pay out of pocket still, even if I have tuition and fees paid? Because I'm still probably going to have to pay money out of pocket.
Yeah, that's right. That totally makes sense. So with that in mind, how does Arkansas Tech apply aid to student balances?
We apply the aid with the institutional aid first. We apply that aid and use that toward the account balance, toward all the account balance, tuition, fees, if the student's living on campus, room and meal plan, and we use that toward their balance. Anything's left over, we let them, if they have a Pell Grant, if they're Pell eligible, if they're not, they're not. If they have challenge, if they're out-of-state students, they can still qualify for our scholarships. Okay. If we apply our institutional awards to their account, then if they have anything left over with any outside funds, they can possibly get that money back from a refund,
Yeah.
in the form of a refund. It's
yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Not all the time, not guaranteed, but it's possible.
So can you speak a little bit to some of the other requirements that you have to have in order to receive a last dollar scholarship?
Sure. Now, each school's different. They each have different requirements, which is also compounding the problem.
Yeah.
But some of them require you to fill out the FAFSA and be Pell eligible. So that really limits the number of students who are going to be eligible for those funds.
Right.
You have to be an Arkansas resident. You have to receive and apply for and receive the Arkansas Academic Challenge Scholarship. And they have to meet all admission requirements at whichever school they're going to get the scholarship at.
Yeah.
They also have to be a first-time entering undergraduate student, which we offer very good transfer scholarship opportunities. And some schools are even requiring them to do volunteer work or to accept their work study position and be assigned a work study position to where they're I say forced to work, they're required to work to receive these funds. So there are a lot of requirements that Arkansas Tech does not have.
You mentioned filling out a FAFSA. Is filling out a FAFSA required at Arkansas Tech for scholarship purposes?
No, while it's not required, we do really recommend it. You're going to get the best bang for your buck. You're going to fill out the FAFSA is the application for the Pell Grant, student loans, work study, and the need-based grant, which is the Supplemental Educational Opportunities Grant. Very limited funding on that, but it is the application for that additional aid. So we do recommend students fill that out.
Yeah, okay, good. Now, how can they do that? Is there a location to?
Yes, they can go to studentaid.ed.gov and they'll fill that out because there are a lot of opportunities there.
Oh, sure, and I know you guys are here to help. So is there an email
Absolutely.
address or phone number that they can contact you guys?
Yes, absolutely. Our email address is fa.help@atu.edu, and our phone number is 479-968-0399. And we're located in R.C. Brown Hall, Suite 206. Monday through Friday, we can help 8 to 5. We've got computers set up in there where if the student and the parent wants to come, or if the student only wants to come and bring their information, we can help them as much as we can get that filled out. And we are also going to have a few days on campus where we're going to set up a lab. We'll be sending that out through One Tech. We're going to have a lab, and we'll all be there and try to have it at a time where maybe a parent doesn't have to take off work. So maybe from 4 to 7 to sort of have a variation in our hours.
Great.
And we are also going to some local high schools to go assist with their parent nights also.
I know for students and parents who are trying to make the right choice for their education, what comes next, the right steps, this was great information, so thank you for joining me today. And thanks again for watching today. My name is Ryan Taylor from Arkansas Tech University. Remember, fight on and stay awesome.